Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. How are you doing? Please let me know in the comment section how you guys are doing. It is always a pleasure to continue to know how you're doing. Are you having a good day? A good night? Whatever time it is where you are? How is it going? Good day. So, come on, let's start. How's your day? Let me know how your day is going. What are you up to? Please type in your comment section where you're doing fun. Remember this recording and then who's watching and how to tailor instructions to help you better to learn the language. So go ahead, type in the comment section and say where your friend is. And you can also give us your time zone. That would be good. If you can give your time zone, it is always good to have your time zone so that we can also work out our schedule to meet your needs. So guys, let me know the time zone. Go ahead, type in the comment section and see what your time zone is and how we can best meet your needs depending on where you're doing from. Come on, guys. And today we're going to be looking at traveling. That's our topic. And we're going to be doing episode number 3. So we have already done episode number 1 and number 2. Today we're going to be doing episode number 3, guys, for this topic, traveling. And we're looking at my first time traveling to America. Yeah, it's my first time traveling to America. So, just for context, this is not my story because, yes, I went to America before, but this is not my story about traveling to America for the first time. Okay, guys. Um, it can be considered, but it's not my story. Okay. All right. So just give me 1 second, guys. Please type in the comment section where you're watching from. Don't forget. Guys, type in the comment section. Let me know where you are feeling from. Guys, go ahead, guys. Type in the comment section. Let's know where you're feeling from. Come on, guys. get active in the comment section. Let us know what your grade charts. That will help us to tailor instructions to help you better. Also, let us know if you are a beginner English learner or if you are an intermediate or advanced. That would also help us when tailoring instructions so that the instructions can fully meet your need. Okay, guys, that's very important. Okay, so the answers to begin. We're going to begin. We're going to begin. All right, so let's begin. Let's begin, guys. Remember, one of the things that you would hear a lot in our story, you might hear the word America. America. You might hear this word America. E, R, E, the short I sound it, and then America. This word would be in our story. We also hear true, av, E and L together, O. If you are from the Caribbean, most likely you would be saying lo instead of o and ing. So word is true, av, o, in, traveling. Let's now go ahead and begin reading. To begin our reading, we first have to look for our words that we find difficult to call. Remember, these words may be words that you are not familiar with, words that are too long for you. Maybe you're not at a stage yet where you're able to have longer words. So we're going to be breaking the words up into parts, whether by chunking them, by using blends, using different segments like consonant, digraph. We're going to be using small words too, to find small words and the big words to be able to call the words. So we are going to be using a lot of different strategies in one just to pronounce our words or to be able to sound out our words and give a whole word. Also, we are going to be looking at the vocabulary for the words so that you guys can make meaning of what you're reading. It's always important to understand what you're reading, else reading is not completed. It would be you just barking at words. We really don't want to bark at the words. We want to be able to call words and understand the context in which the words are used, to understand the situation that is happening while we are reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to begin with this word as our biggest word. So we have ch. CNH in this one makes the ch sound. Yesterday we learned that CNH can make sh and it can also make k. Like in the word Christmas, we hear in the word machine, we hear sh or CNH. But in this one, we hear ch. Just like in the word church or lunch, we hear ch. E, C and K together make the same song. So we make one song for them. We hear ch, e, ch, e, check. All right. So that's our root word here, check. We're going to add the ed sound. So for the ed, we're going to be using the ch sound. So we'll say check, check, checked. Whenever words end with like a soft sound, you would use the t sound for ed. If it ends with a hard sound or like a nasal sound, then you would use the d sound. If it ends with T or D, then you would use id. Okay? Because we have other words in our story with ed. So it's just for you to remember that. So when you come to those other words with ed, it will be easy for you to call. Remember, we are also using the strategy of calling the root word, then adding the ed sound. And we're doing that also for words that ends with S and words that ends with ing. And that is for you to be able to pronounce the word, call the word. So after you are able to call the word, then you add the ending sound. And that would help you to call words easier. Okay? So we have check, and we know what check means. When we check something, it simply means that you look at it or you examine it, or it could be we're inspecting it. You can use other words like scan. You can also say that you're studying it, depending on how you're using it. You can also say um, like you investigate it. Those are words that you can also use to check. All right. So you can record those vocabulary words that check means to look at something or to look into something. You examine it. You can say you inspect it. You can say you investigate it or you study it. All those would mean the same as check. And check would be the present form of the verb. But when you add the ed, getting the word checked, remember the ed makes the sound, then it would be the past tense form of the word. Okay? So which means the action has already happened. For those of you who are not familiar with this word, E and R together says So we'll say ch and er, her, her. And her, we use that to refer to a lady or to a woman or to a girl. Her. And her would normally be used as an object pronoun. Okay? And also it could be used as a subject pronoun. All right? It depends on how it is being used. That it will be used as an object. I don't want. Guys, I'm so sorry for that. So I had to take that call. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, yes. Now, our next word is this word. So we have come, then the U makes a long song. So here you. Most of you, you might want to put this part as a word, put, but in this word, it's not saying put. That's why we have to be very careful when we're using small words because the letters may not always have the same sound in each word. So we cannot use it as put. We have to use it as ute, pute. All right. The E's at the end. And, normally when the E's at the end, it will be silent. However, in this word, because it's ER together, the ER makes the sound just like in the word her, the ER makes the sound and that's the regular song for ER. If you are using the Caribbean accent or British accent, ER it will not roll itself out when you are speaking or pronouncing the words. But if you're using American accent, you'd hear it roll. The British would use the ER like a schwa song. Most of the times when it comes at the ending of words, you hear oh, like a puff of air. So let's go ahead now and call the word. We hear come, you, compute, and then you hear compute, computer, computer. All right. So if you're in using the American English, then you hear computer. But then if you are using the British English, you hear computer, computer. So it's like the song dropped short, right? Okay, so the word is computer. And we know what a computer is. A computer is actually a device that we use ever so often. Well, I should not say that because a lot of us these days we use a tablet instead of a computer. So a computer is an electrical device. It is a device where we store information and where we're able to retrieve information from, right? So it has a lot of built-in software or programs. And, with all those software and programs, we get a lot of, to put a lot of data, to process data on it. So we can retrieve, which means we get, or we can put in data. All right. Let's go to our next word. Mm, A and R together are a, a, ma. So our word is ma, and you can see the small word a, like Noah and the ark. You can see the small word ark, like Noah and the ark. So we can say me, if you know the small word ark. If you do not know the small word ark, then you can say me, make the A and R sound, and then make the sound for K. So then we hear me, ma, and we add the ED sound. Remember, the ED, when it ends with soft sounds like songs like and not sorry, and songs like these are softer songs. When it ends with these soft songs, then the ED will make the song. All right. So when words end with letter P, letter S, letter um, K, and all these, then you will hear the sound. All right, guys. So we're doing well so far. Let's keep going. Our next word, we have done this word before. We have a, ick. And ick is a very common rhyme in English. Okay. So the C and the K will make one song. C and K will make one song in the word. So for example, if you know the word pick, pick, then you would realize that it rhymes with this. So we hear t, then A and C and K together make one song. Tick, tick, tick. Like when your clock moves, you say the hands on the clock. When they move, you say that the clock tick. All right. Then we add the ENT together to make one sound. As a rhyme, we say et, et, et. However, if you're using the American English, you hear ticket, ticket. If you're using the British English, you hear ticket, ticket. So in the British English, the E is pronounced as a short I sound. You hear it. So you hear ticket, it, ticket. So just be very careful with that when you're reading. So our word is ticket, ticket. Let's now do our next word. And you see, remember all these words with ed, we're calling the root word first, the first part of the word, and then we're adding the ed sound. So we see that it ends with a P. Remember I said when you have soft songs like P and K and S, all those, the ED will make a T sound. So right there, you'd realize we make a T sound or ED. You can find a small word in the word am. So we can put S&T together. We have stick, small word, stam, and then we add the sound. You have um, st, stum, stum. And then we add our ed to it. Stamped, 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 stamped. What does it mean to stamp something? Or what does it mean when you stamp? Okay, so when something is being stamped, it means that that thing is being pressed upon very hard, like you put a lot of pressure on it. So, for example, when you put your foot on something and then you press it to the ground, that would be stamp. So, stamp can be when you print something or mark something, you would say that you stamp it. So, for example, when you use ink and you dip, let's say you dip a shape in ink and then you print it on a piece of paper, you would say that you stamp it. And then we have stamp, like those stamps that are being made, where you have the stamp pad, the pad that has ink in it, and these handheld little thing that has like it might be a logo on it, or it might have like shapes or different things, and you will dip it into the stamp pad, and then you press it on a paper, then you would say that you stamp the paper. So that is also a stamp. Okay, good. But stamped here is used as a verb, as an action word. So that is the one where you actually print something on a paper. You press it and print it. Or in some cases, it depends. Depends on what you're doing, you would use like a ready-made stamp. So that ready-made stamp would be where it's like a paper stamp, a stamp that is made of paper. They use it at the post office. If you're familiar with the post office, yeah, okay. All right. So let's go ahead and read our first sentence. Let's go ahead and read our first sentence out. It is important for us to read our first sentence. She checked her computer and marked my ticket and stamped it. All right. So, guys, let's read it one more time. We just read using word by word. Now we are doing that using our method where we would use fluent reading. So let's get to that part. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna stop the screen so that we can actually have the full screen. I didn't notice that we were not using the full screen. My apologies to you. So we were not using the full screen. Okay. So remember, anyone who wish to come and read, you can always pop on screen to do so. All right, let's go ahead. Let's continue. This time we're going to be reading, listening phrases, then we're going to develop two sentences. Let's go. Ready? She checked her computer and marked my ticket and stamped it. All right. Now let's read in a full sentence. Let's see how well we're going to do as we read in a full sentence. She checked her computer and marked my ticket and stamped it. Let's try it one more time. She checked her computer and marked my ticket and stamped it. All right. Remember, this is about the agent, what the agent did. So the agent, what did the agent do? She checked her computer and marked my ticket and stamped it. All right, let's look for the words that we find very difficult as we go along. What other words do you guys find difficult? Please type in the comment section what other words you find difficult. This would give me an easier time in recognizing the words that you are having difficulty with. All right. So let's do this word. Remember, we say whenever a word has the ed or ing, call the root word, the first part of the word, and then you call the ed after. So in this case, the word ends with a K, which is a soft sound. Whenever the word ends with a soft sound, you would always use the t sound for ed. So here we know that the ed is going to be making the t sound. Let's now call the root word. A, s, k, a, s, k, ask, ask, ask. So our word here is ask, ask. Let's now add the t sound. Asked, asked, asked. Our word is asked. What does it mean to ask for something? Can you type another word in the comment section that means the same as ask? What word can you use to mean ask? And remember, ask itself, this is the present form of the verb, which means the action happens now. When we add the ed, that would be the past form of the verb, which means that the action has already taken place. Okay, so another word that we can use for ask is request. So when we ask for something, it simply means that we say something in order for us to get an answer or for us to get something that we want. So, for example, you want a piece of bread, you would say, "Can I have a piece of bread, please?" You just asked for the piece of bread by saying, "Can I have a piece of bread, please?" All right. So when you ask something, you would be putting forward a question. Okay. You'll be putting forward a question to whoever it is that you're requesting that thing from. All right. So remember in this word, we saw this part of the word and we said we cannot use a small word here, this small word put. Instead, we have to use the long U song here. However, when we see the word here by itself, we know that the sound is O. So we call the word put, put, put. Okay? So that is just for clarity for those who might call it incorrectly, because we call it hair, and in this longer word we say you. All right. So you heard a different sound in the longer word. Always be very careful with your words. Okay, let's go on to our next word. Remember, we can break words up into parts by smaller words, by chunking them, by songs, or by looking for words where you have compound words. So this is a compound word where we have two words together. So we have our first word and this is our second word. You may know each word, and if you know each word, soon as you look at the word, you should be able to pull them apart. So this word says s. The U and I together says ooh, and the T makes the t sound. So we hear s, ooh, t, s, ooh. T. Our word is suit, suit, suit. Good job. If you were able to do that, then you did very well. And you and I together in English can make different sounds. It doesn't only say ooh, right? So you have to be very careful anytime you see me and I together. So in the word fruits, we get ooh. In the word fruit, you'll get ooh, just like you get ooh in this word suit. So that's the first particle word, suit. And then we have the E at the end is silent. We give power to the vowel that comes before. So the vowel makes the long sound where it says A, calling its own name. So we hear k, is, k, is, case, case. So our two words, suit, case, suit, case, suitcase, suitcase, suitcase. All right. Now, what is a suitcase? First, let us unravel what the word suit is. What the word suit is. So you may have a suit that you want to wear somewhere. So your suit is actually your outfit. It is the clothing that you wear, right? And this clothing might be a pants and a shirt. It might be a skirt and a top. Or you can even call a dress a suit. Okay? So once the material is the same or the design of it is the same, you can call it a suit. Are you wearing them together? We call it a suit. Okay? So we can either call it a suit when their design is the same or the material is the same, and we pair them together, which means we wear them together, then we call it a suit. All right. Let's see our next word. So case, what is a case? What is a case? So we're breaking it down just to put the two words together. So if you have a case, as in like, for example, a bookcase, it would be something that would hold items in it. So a case basically would be something that would hold items in it. So if we are to talk about a suitcase, you're going to now make meaning of both. Remember what we spoke about suit and now what we talk about case. When we put the two words together, the meaning that we just got, what is a suitcase? So a suitcase is actually just a um well, I don't want to say a device, but it is just something that has like a handle and it hold or carry clothes in it. That is what you would call a suitcase. So I'm trying my best to break it down to the lowest level so everybody can understand what it is. So it's like a large container that has a handle. It would have wheels on it. In most cases, it would have wheels on it, and you would carry your clothing in it or your suits in it, along with your other travel possessions, whatever other things you're traveling with. All right. So our next word, we can see a small word here. And see the end silent. We just did a rule like that before. And it gives power to the A to call its name. So we did that rule in the word case. So it's the same thing that we can see here. If you can see the A followed by a consonant and then an E at the end. So the E silent gives power to the A to call its name. So we say ale, ale. And then we add the sound for S and T together. We hear sk, sk. The C here makes a sound like K. Remember, C sometimes make a sound like K, while sometimes it makes a sound like S. We hear S. In most cases, we hear the K sound. So we hear sk and ale, sk, ale, scale, scale. What is a scale? So you may know scale in terms of those things that are on the fish, like those little um things. Um how do I describe them? You have like some little small, flat, white or clear colored things that protect the fish, the skin of it. You would call those the scale. They are very thick and dry or flaky. Those are scales. However, this scale that we're talking about is actually something that is used to measure. So this scale would measure how heavy or light something is. It would actually measure the mass of something, the weight of something. So this scale would have numbers on it that would measure how heavy or how light something is, the mass of it. Okay, let's go to this word. Sh. SMH together, make the sound sh. A, A, because in real terms, this word, the root word would actually have an E at the end, shake. It would have an E at the end. So the E will be silent and the A would make the sound A. So we hear sh, ache, shake. And then remember we said once we get the root word, then we add our ing song. Can you remember the song for ing? If you remember the song for ing, say yeah. Say yeah in the comment section if you remember the song for ing. So ing makes the sound in, in. So we hear I for the I, and then we hear ni for the energy. So we hear in. Let's put it together now. Shake, shake, in, shake, in, shaking, shaking. Remember, for spelling purposes, you do not include the E when you're spelling. Do not include the E when you're spelling. The E is just a reminder that this root word is shake. And because of the E at the end being silent, the A would call its name A. All right? That's all you're remembering it there for in the word shaking. Otherwise, the E is not added when you're spelling. So we have shake, then we add ing, and you hear in, shaking. What does it mean for something to shake? What does it mean for something to shake? For example, if there's an earthquake, we're going to have a shake. What does that mean? It means that something will tremble or that it will vibrate. Or we can use other words like quake. You can say that, we have a movement, like a fast, jerky movement, or a movement that is very rapid. Yeah, we would call that a shake. Or from side to side, we call it a shake. All right, so you would have experienced that before. Maybe you have been shaken before, or maybe there was an earthquake before and you felt the earthquake, the movement, that rapid um, movement or the fast movement. We call it a vibrate or a tremor. That's a shaking. All right. This word, you should be very familiar with this word, W and H in English. Sometimes the H make the sound. Sometimes the W make the sound. In this one, the W is making the sound. So we hear whoop. The H is silent. So we can say W and H together make the sound whoop in this word. Then we use that same rule with silent E at the end. You hear the I, the vowel that comes before, call its name. So we hear I. So we say whoop, I'll, while. All right. What is while? We also know when ing is a part of the word, we're going to call the first part of the word, which is a root word, and then we add the ing sound. So this word says do, do, and in. So the word is doing, doing, doing. What does it mean to be doing something? So if I am doing something, it simply means that I am performing it, or I am carrying it out, or I am engaging it, right? Or yeah, the action is happening, right? So whenever you're doing something, you're getting it done, or you are carrying it out, or you're performing it. That's what it means to do something, to be doing. And doing would mean that it is happening because whenever ing is added, remember, that's when the action is happening. It's continuing, it's not stopping. All right. So we got that together. You think we have that together? I think we do. Let's move on to this word. We know A and I together says A, but in this word, we cannot hear A, okay? Instead, this word is a very tricky word because the A and I is not making the A sound. The S makes the sound S, and the A and I is actually saying F, and then you hear D, said. So the word is said. So you have to remember what this word is for spelling purposes and also remember what it is for pronunciation purposes, how it looks, how it's spelled, because the A and I is not making the A sound. The A and I is making the E sound in the word. So this is a tricky word. This word does not follow the rule. So please practice this word all the time. Said, said, said. If you don't practice it, you're going to call it incorrectly. Also, this word, practice it all the time. You see it appearing twice in our passage. The A is actually making a song like you saying the short U song, and the S is actually making a song like Z. S makes a song like Z in a lot of words when it's followed by a I. Sorry, when it comes after a I, for example, the word his, we hear Z. In words like cheese, we hear Z. When an E comes after it, we hear Z. You know, in some words like rose, we hear Z. So you have to keep practicing this word in order to master it. And the word is us, was, us, was. And it's a past tense verb, past tense to be verb, was. All right. Two O's in this word actually makes a sound. O, O. But two O's can also say O. It can say ought. So you have to be very careful. So remember this word here, O, good, old, good, old, good, good. Our word is good. How about this word? Remember, when two letters make the same song, you're going to hear one song. Two letters making the same song, one song only. So we say t, ag. So we can see the rhyme ag here, like bag, tag, rag. That rhyme, you see it right there in this word. So t, ag, tag. Remember, call the root word first, then add the ed. So tag, tagged, tagged. So we add the d song. All right. Remember, anytime you hear a hard song before the ed, that's when you add the d song. So tagged, tagged. What does it mean to tag something? Or some of you play the game tag. You play the game tag. So what does it mean when you're playing the game tag? What are you doing when you play tag? What are you doing? How do you tag someone? That would help you to get the meaning for the word tag. That would help you to get the meaning for the word tag. So come on, guys, let me see you in the comment section. All right, so when you tag something, it simply means that you mark it or you label it. It could be where you put like a tab on it, or it could be a sticker you can put on it. All right. So when you tag something, it just means that you basically add a label to it. You add a label to it, and that helps you to identify it. All right. So for those of you who do not know how to call this word, the energy says need. You get a, l, al, and o, mm, a, l, ong, a, l, ong, along, along, along. So if I walk along somewhere, what does that really mean? So if I'm walking along, it means that I am just moving in that direction, that same direction I'm going on the path that I'm going. So I am just moving on or moving ahead. All right, guys. Let's see what other words. We did this word yesterday. A and N together making the song and the rhyme and, like in the word man, pan. Then we add the d. We have another complete different word here now. We have and. Like when you join two things together, like when you say he and I and then we add So we have hand, hand, hand. And this is like your body parts, your hand. The part of your body that you use to grab things, you call it your hand. Yes, your hand. All right. This word we can segment it into two parts too. So we see "ru" and we see the rhyme of "ug," like in the word hug or bug. So lug. In this part, we see the small word age. Yeah, the N being silent. We hear the A say A. G comes before E, I or Y. It makes it sound like J. So in this one, we hear J. So we say age, age. Then we add G to it. So we have G, age, gauge, gauge. So this part of the word says gauge. The first part says lug, age, luggage, luggage, luggage. What is our word? Our word is luggage. Our word is luggage. Luggage. What does the word luggage mean? And a lot of us, we have some luggage that we would walk with when we're going anywhere. You know, some of us would like to pack a lot of things. Yeah. So your luggage is actually like your suitcase or your bags that you have with your personal stuff inside of it, or your baggage, or your things, or your belongings. All those you can call them luggage. All right. All those are your luggage. Your possessions, those are your luggage. All right. So now it's time for us to practice reading this sentence. Are you ready to practice this sentence, guys? And if you haven't liked the live, please like the live. Please comment in the comment section. You know, guys. Yeah. So let's go ahead and read this sentence. After that, we're just going to pause for about some seconds and then we're going to continue. So let's go ahead. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. All right, remember we're reading it slow so that you can get each word, the pronunciation. All right, because I did not do the small words, but sometimes there are some small words that you might not remember, and that's why we're reading it slow. Now we're going to be reading it using phrases. And when we read using phrases, that would help you to build up um, in terms of your reading with expression and you getting each part out clearly. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. All right, if you were able to do that, that is very good. Now let's go ahead and we're going to be reading in full sentence. Remember, it's now time for our full sentence reading. So you should remember all the words. Asked, suitcase, scale, shaking, while, doing, said, good, tagged, along, hand, luggage. Let's now read in full sentence. Let's see if you can do that very well. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. How was that, guys? How was that? I'm thinking you did an awesome job. Let's practice it one more time to see how you're going to be doing with it, guys. Let's practice it one more time. I'm sure that you can do this. Let's go. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. Guys, if you were able to do that, then you need to take a little breather because you guys on the tip of fresh air. All right, so what I want for you to do is just practice it again by yourself this time. And then I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. And then we're going to read it one more time for clarity. Okay? So go ahead, practice. Okay, guys, we should be done practicing now. So let's read it again and see how well you do this time. Ready to go? Let's go. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. Did you do well? I think you did. Now let's read from the top. Let's read from the top to see if we have all the words together. Remember the bigger words at the top, the words that we did before: checked, computer, map, ticket, stamped. If you want me to go over them, you can type in the comment section to let me know, guys. And remember, anyone who wants to come up on screen to read, let me know in the comment section and you send a request. Don't forget that you don't have to share your camera, just use your voice. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to be reading from the top. Ready to go? Well, I am ready. Let's go. She checked her computer and mapped my tickets and stamped it. Next, she asked me to put my suitcase on the scale. I was shaking while doing it. She said it was good and tagged it along with my hand luggage. All right. If you think you have that together, guys, very, very good. If you think you have that together, guys, very, very good. All right. So do you think you have it all together now? Type in the comment section. Let me see, guys. If you think you have it all together, type in the comment section. Let me see. I'm just making sure you guys have it all together. That's what I'm doing. Okay, guys. So we are going to be doing our other two sentences. Let's get those words in, and then we'll read our whole paragraph together. and then we'll be done. Okay? All right. So let's begin. What other words do we find very difficult to call? Let's see those words. Remember, if you find a word very difficult to call, type it in the comment section, as I may not do a word like this word. I may not do it because I may say this word is small word, and I'm assuming that you should be able to call it. If you cannot call it, type it in the comment section so I can do that. Okay, let's go. So we met this word before. We said this word is a very tricky word. If you look back at the top, you're going to see that we have the pronunciation for it here. The, instead of the AI saying A, it actually says E. So we have ed, said. So always look out for this word being a tricky word. Said. Said you have to learn this word by sight in order to call it. And it's a word that would repeat itself in whatever you're reading, especially when you're reading stories, those that are fiction stories, those that are not true. You would find this a lot on narrative stories. Our next word, we see this same concept that we have been doing all afternoon, where the E's at the end silent and the I makes the sound I. Remember, this can appear in words also. And that's because here we have an ending that is a suffix. We have ly, which changes the meaning of the word here. So the ly says e, li in this word. The y at the end makes it sound like e. Ly can also say lie in some words, like client. But in this one, we hear the e sound for the y. Y at the end can make I or e sound. All right, so let's put the first part of the word together. You hear and r. We can put all three together, or we can just do the first two, sp and r, I, t, sp, r, I, sprite. Or we can put three together, spur, all three together, spur, spur. So we hear spur, I, sprite. Sprite. So the first part of the word is sprite. And then remember the ly says Lee. Lee in this word, we hear the Y making the E sound. So when we put the two parts of the word together, we have the word sprightly. Sprightly. What does that mean? And this sprightly, it is actually an adjective, okay? You see this word, sprightly? This word can be spelled like this, right? But a lot of times you might find the word spelled like this. So I'm giving you the other variation for the word. You would find IGH, IGH, making the I sound and t at the end. IGH, like in the word night or light, that's what you would find. The I make the sound, the GH stays silent. So this is the combination that you would find in a lot of words. Okay, so always look out for that. So what does it mean for somebody to be sprightly? Sprightly simply means that you are energetic, or when you are very lively, like you are that person who is always active, full of life, or playful. That's how people will call you. So that you're sprightly. They would describe you as being sprightly. So sprightly is a descriptive word. So let's say the word again, sprightly. Sprightly. And most English contexts, you're going to find the word with IGH. All right? IGH instead of ITE. So if you see the word with ITE, it will be important for you to remember that in most English contexts, you're going to find IGH. The I makes a sound, the GH is silent, like in the word night, light, and those words. All right, so sprightly. And I believe that you guys are sprightly, which means you guys are very full of life, lively, energetic, playful. You got all that going on there. So let's see what is sprightly. So we see O and I together making the sound oi in this word. When C comes before E, I or Y, we hear some like S, so yes. And the E at the end is silent. Let's put the word together. V, voice, v, voice, voice. So our word here is voice, voice. The E at the end is silent, so we would not hear the E. What is your voice? So if I say, look, why are you raising your voice at me? What does your voice mean? What does the word voice mean? So voice is actually a song that your mouth will produce. Okay? So that song that you utter from your mouth, that comes through your mouth, that is called your voice or your speech. That is your voice. Or when you sing, that is your voice, like a song. That's your voice. Also, we can use voice to talk about when we share our opinions or when we give our viewpoint, when we express something, that is also our voice. All right. So when we express something, that is our voice in terms of the action. However, the song that is coming from our mouth, the song that we utter or we produce, or our speech, that is a noun. So that would be a naming word. Okay? That tells us what it is. All right. So this word, you guys should be very quick at it. And you know why you should be very quick at it? Because I just give you the combination for this word right here. So that one you guys should get that before I can even help you with it. I expect you to get it. Remember the I makes a sound, the GH stays silent in the word. So we hear b, brr, we hear brr, I, t, brr, I. So our word here is bright, brr, I, bright. What does it mean for something to be bright? And guys, those of you on the live who have not hit that like button yet, please hit the like button. It would be so good for you to do that. All right. And if you want to come up on screen and read, let me know in the comment section. Okay. So I can let you come up on screen and just practice. It would be nice to hear one of you read. So when something is bright, like for example, the light, when it is bright, it means that this thing is shining, that it's giving off a lot of light, right? Also, we can use bright to mean when somebody is intelligent or when they're clever or when they're very sharp, they're smart, they just click one time. So we can use bright in any of those ways to mean something that shines a lot or that gives off a lot of light or something that is brilliant or somebody who's intelligent and quick or sharp. Yeah. All right. In this one too, we can also use this combination. And you see why I tell you guys, you got to remember the combinations and remember rhymes to help you to read. Because we just did this part of the word in this word while. So in this word while, the WH makes the sound W. The H is silent, the W makes the sound. and then we hear I'll. So here we know that this part says I'll. The E is silent and it gives power to the I to call its name. So we hear I'll. So all we do is that we just add and When we add then we get the word smile, smile. So guys, put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face. You got that right there. Smile. What does it mean to smile? I know you can smile. Go ahead and put a smile on your face, guys. Put a smile on your face. That would be really, really good for you to do. So when you smile, it simply means that you give off a beam. Yeah, you give off a beam. And that beam, it is where you just allow your facial features of your lips to just open up or extend backwards. So they just open up and extend back. And when that happens, that means that you smile. And with that, you show that you appreciate something, you show that you are happy. And when you smile, a lot of the times you would see your teeth, you would see your teeth. Some people smile without showing their teeth. That's fine too, where they just extend their lips, open up their lips, and push back their cheeks, and that would be their smiles or the corner of their mouth. You just push it back. All right. So our next word, we have the word. In this one, you see here the E silent, but we are not hearing a long A song. We're hearing a short song. We hear have, have. All right. That's why I tell you that don't always look forward to a long song like in Smile. You heard the I making a long I song. In Case, you hear the A make a long A song. You hear A, but it does not always happen. And that's why we say English is so funny. English is a very, very funny language. The rules are not the same all the time. So you have to be so careful when reading. That's why you need to practice a lot. So after practicing, then you can become very, very familiar with the words and it becomes easier for you. All right, so let's keep going. So our next word, we see a small word in this word. But do you know that this is going to be incorrect if we use a small word? If we use a small word, we're going to hear greet. And this word is not greet. So let's look for the rule that applies in this word. And that's why we have to read often. So in reading often, these words will become very automatic to us, which means when we see them, we're able to call them one time. So let's go. In this word, the A makes the sound A. So E and A can also say A, like in the word break. So the A makes the sound A and the E is silent. All right. In the word break, like when you say, let me eat my breakfast. Or when you say, hey, my pencil, right? So when your pencil breaks, when you smash it in two, it it breaks. So that word also has the A making the sound and the E silent. But we know words like bean and mean and those words we're gonna hear E. That's why you have to keep practicing, guys. Keep practicing. All right, because this now we hear new rule. E and A can also say A. So we hear G and R makes the sound grr, eight, grr, eight. So our word here is great, great. And this great is like when somebody is powerful. This great is like something that has lots of power, something that has the ability. You would say that it is great. Something that is beyond normal. You would say that it is great. Something that exceeds our expectation. You would say that it is great. All right. Something that has a great extent or amount or intensity above average. We say that it's great. It's exceptional. Something that is large, you can say it's great. Something that is huge, you can say it's great. Something that is serious, you can also say it's great. All right. Something that is exceptional. It's great too, right? All right. So just remember the rule, the E is silent and the A makes a sound A in the word great. Let's now look at this word, and this one should be very easy using our same rule from the word right. So we hear the I make the sound and the GH is silent. So we say flu, flu, I, flu, I, flight, flight. So we are reading about traveling, and of course, we are going to talk about flight. Whenever you're reading about traveling or you're talking about traveling, flight should be a part of your vocabulary. So, what is a flight? A flight is actually the process of flying through the air, or it is that air transport that you use. You can also call it your flight. Or when you are soaring, you can call it flight too. All right. So when you're soaring, you're going higher and higher and you use like wings to get there. You can say that you are on a flight. Guys, you're doing very well. Okay, let's see our other words. So in this word, we have that same pattern, like in the word computer. We hear the ER say if you are in America, where you make the sound and you roll it, or if you are using the British English, where you hear a short puff of air for the sound. Yeah. And then we have a small word on. So we say on, on, one. So we hear one, wonder. This part is wonder. And this is a suffix. And this suffix says full, full. So we hear the U and L say oh, oh, oh. So when we put it together, we have full, full. So our word is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And for spelling purposes, you guys, you would know full with two letters. But in this word, you see it with only one letter. Always remember when full is being used as a suffix, when it's being added to the end of words, it would have one letter L, one letter L when it's added at the end of words. All right. So that's for spelling purposes. Do not add two L's, okay? Do not do it. So our word is wonderful. When something is wonderful, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that this thing is something that brings pleasure, or something that we admire, or something that is so, so good, something that is extremely good, something that is lovely, or something that is fantastic, or something that is great, or something that is magnificent. We can call it wonderful, or something that is awesome. Wonderful. All right, good. So we have true, ip, trip. So we can see ip here, which rhymes with lip. And we can also see the small word rip, like when you tear something apart, rip. So we have two, true, ip, trip. What is a trip? What is a trip? Guys, so many of us want to go on a trip. So many of us want to go on a trip, right? What is a trip? What is a trip? So a trip is like a journey that you go on. All right. It is like an outing, something that you do for you go somewhere, you go for pleasure. When you go somewhere for pleasure, you call it a trip. The trip could be like a visit somewhere. It can be like a day out. It can be like um a, a mini drive. You can say you make a trip. Okay. So your trip is actually a journey, or it is like a visit somewhere, or maybe when you like take a holiday someplace or you have a day out. Yeah, that's a trip. And it's something that you do for pleasure. All right, so let's see. We have the next word. Um, mom. So this word says mom. So because you have two A's in it, they just say ah. Um, mom, mom, mom. Mom is actually the short form for the word madam. Short form for the word madam. So where the apostrophe is, you can just insert the d sound or the letter T and you have madam. So it's a short form for the word madam. So if someone calls you mom, well, in the Caribbean, if you call somebody mom, they might take it to mean that you're calling them like an old person. But um, some places they would just take it to mean that you mean respect to that person and you're just addressing them respectfully, right? So it depends on where or in which English speaking country you are in. Okay, so we have L, felt, we have read, L and T together. Makes a very good consonant blend. Root, felt rhymes with word like belt and melt. So if you're familiar with this ending "elt," it makes it easy for you to call the word belt. So what does belt mean? Okay. What is belt mean? Felt is actually the past tense for the word feel. Felt is the past tense for the word feel. Yeah, felt is the past tense for the word feel. Felt can also be used to refer to a type of cloth, okay? But in this case, we are not using it to refer to a type of cloth. In this case, we are using it to refer to a feeling. Okay, so it's the past tense for the word feel, and we know what the word feel means, right? It's when we are aware of something by touching it or by it touching us that we can say, "Hey, you felt that." Okay, guys. So we experience something physically or emotionally. Yeah. You are says S&T says you have the word burst, b- burst, burst, burst. What does it mean when something bursts? What does it mean for something to burst? It means that this thing is broken or this thing split open or like it just suddenly tears apart or rip apart or it ruptured or we can say crack or we can even use the word shatter. So when something bursts, we can use all those words to mean burst. Okay, guys. And our next word here, we have the word up. Then we have cook. So we see the rhyme up, like in map and tap. We see the small word in. So we can say happen, and then we see S. Or we can put nest together because nest is actually the addition to the word, the suffix added to the word. So we can see hap, a. So the short I make the sound a, and ness, S, happiness, happiness. Our word there is happiness, and you know what it means to be happy, guys. When we are happy, we are glad. It makes us jump, it makes us wave, it makes us feel satisfied, we are cheerful, we are filled with joy, we are with much glee or much delight when we are happy. So happiness. So that state when we are feeling a lot of joy or we're feeling a lot of cheerfulness. We're in a good spirit. All right, we'll come back to this word, and by now I expect you to know this word because this is the third time that we are meeting this word. So we met it here once, we met it here twice, and now we meet it down here for the third time. So the word is said. Remember, the AI makes a song like eh, a short song. So guys, remember it does not say a. So it's a tricky word. You need to learn it by seeing it. You need to learn it by seeing it. All right. Okay. Next, we have the word, this last word, TNH, making the song. And then we hear and then ni. So we hear ang, ang, thang, thang. Okay, so our word here is thang, thang. So we have a tongue between our teeth, and then we hear ang, thang. And when you thank someone, what does that mean to thank someone? What does that mean to thank someone? What does it mean to thank someone? When you thank somebody, what are you doing? So somebody has done something really good for you and you want to thank them. What does that mean? It simply means that you express gratitude to them. Whenever you thank somebody, you just let them know how pleased you are with them, with what they have done for you, or how grateful you are for whatever it is that they've done. So thanks, when you thank somebody, you express your gratitude to them, or you let them know how grateful you are for whatever they have done for you. All right. Yes, guys. So tell us what's up. Tell us what's up, guys. Think you got all the words together? I think you do. If you do, let me know that you have all the words together. Because I believe you got them. I believe you got them. I believe you have mastered them. So let's call the word one more time. Let's call the words one more time. Said, sprightly, sprightly, voice, voice, bright, bright, smile, smile, great, great, flight, flight, wonderful, wonderful, trip, trip, mom, mom, felt, felt, burst, burst, happiness, happiness, said, said, thank, thank. All right, you got the words. So, guys, let's go ahead and let's read. Let's see if we can call all the words. Then she said in a sprightly voice with a big smile, have a great flight and a wonderful trip, Mom. I felt a burst of happiness and said, I will. Thank you. All right. So we just read using our word by word. Now we will be reading in phrases. Then she said in a sprightly voice with a bright smile, have a great flight and a wonderful trip, Mom. I felt a burst of happiness and said, sorry guys, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. And said, I will. Thank